I'm reading this blog post by Harvey Organ about his activities. He writes that he's written a letter to Comex because Comex apparently is settling their futures contracts in exchange-traded funds like GLD, and that, as far as I can understand it, is equal to Comex defaulting, because basically they're not delivering the gold or the silver. They're settling without delivery in terms of these exchange-traded funds, which is exactly equivalent to settling in dollars and then, buying the fund, the GLD fund, with those dollars. And people have been saying that once Comex starts settling in dollars, that they don't have the stuff that they're pretending to have. So apart from Comex being manipulated by Goldman Sachs and other banks to drive down the gold price and silver price, they don't have the metals. So you have been kind of participating in a giant, well, let's say virtual soccer toto or some game like that. And on top of that, the GLD exchange-traded funds, which are supposedly backed also by physical gold, are very unlikely to be backed by physical gold. They're of course, maybe they're partially backed, but Mr. Organ also reports that he found that a certain Mr. Stephen Spicer had big problems with acquiring physical gold and silver, precious metals, which makes it highly unlikely that a fund that where like millions of dollars are moving in or have moved in the recent months has been able to get the metals to back those let's say contracts with actual physical gold. This comes on top of another story about Canada, about the Canadian Mint likely not actually having all the gold and the silver that they're keeping for their customers. So if you get, you can get I guess an account with the Canadian Mint and say, okay, I'll buy gold, but you keep it in your safe. You keep it in your big, vaults. Apparently, it's not likely that they're actually doing that. It's likely that they're doing the fractional banking. That has been the tradition, the traditional deception that the banking system have been using for hundreds of years. They're basically lying to you while you trust them to keep your to abide by the contract. It's very hard for me to understand why people would honor a contract with a bank, any contract with them, when they are breaching their contract on a continuous basis. And also why anybody would trust any bank at the moment. They're not solvent, they're not keeping their promises, and you can count on it that let's say if donuts were the next big commodity, real tangible asset, whatever, golden donuts, that within a couple of weeks banks would start a donut fund that would be backed by real donuts in their vaults, and you just invest in the fund. Is much more easy, of course, than have the donuts in your own home. Well, you can trust me that, or you can rely on them to not have those donuts, to be conning you once again, and of course that can be very good for an economy. But then again, banks never have really, let's say, contributed very much to a real economy anyway.